TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
News from the Street, 919fm.com. Here's what's happening.
Good afternoon, I'm Chanaka Phipps, and this is the news on the Street 919 FM. In the headlines, $6.9 million for the First People Police Tactical to be handed in by October 23rd. Speaker takes Young to task for distasteful behavior. TT Post workers complain on still living on the 2013 salaries. The Calypso Sprinter under repairs, and internationally, Sin was killing Biden seeks path to peace. On top of the news, $6.9 million has been allocated to the First People to assist with the development of their heritage village, upgrade of the administrative buildings, and other works. Kumuto Manzanilla MP Dr. Rai Ragbir said the amount was impressive and asked Sport and Community Development Minister Shamfo Kojo Lewis what was planned for public awareness and development initiatives. Kojo Lewis said the figure focused on a master plan the ministry has been working on with the First People in Arima. They are building a heritage village, and we've been working with them not only in developing the master plan, but also in getting the location, the venue ready to build out there. We did slope stabilization last year, and we are going to be doing more this year, along with roadways and retaining walls, and finalizing the master plan. The minister also stated 92 in-person and 19 online short-skill courses were implemented over 5 months in the last fiscal year at a cost of $2.2 million. She said a total of 6,130 people registered and have benefited from the program, and a total of 4,003 people completed it. In more news, an advisory have been issued by the Commissioner of Police by October 23rd. All police officers are to return their tactical uniforms and revert to the traditional grey shirts and blue pants with immediate effect. During a weekly police press briefing on October 17th, Deputy Commissioner of Police Junior Benjamin gave the feature address, noting the increase in fake police officers being involved in criminal activity in recent times. As a result, the police has taken a drastic stance in dealing with this situation. An advisory was read by Benjamin, who spoke on behalf of Hereward Christopher, who was absent. The subject matter speaks to unauthorized use of tactical uniform. I referred to the subject and informed with effect from October 18th, only under mention units are authorized to wear tactical uniforms. Benjamin said 4 units, Guard and Emergency Branch, Interagency Task Force, National Operating Task Force, and the Multi-Operational Police Section will be allowed to wear tactical uniforms. The GEB and IATF will also be able to use a digital camouflage. All other officers assigned to division branches, section, and units, including members of the Divisional Task Force, must be appropriately attired in Patrol Order Number 3. The advisory said divisional commanders were required to ensure all tactical items from police not in the 4 named special units were returned to police headquarters by October 23rd. Further stating failure to comply will result in the appropriate disciplinary actions. Further news, Speaker Bridget Anisette George condemned Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West MP Stuart Young for his controversial remarks against members of the opposition. She made it clear by saying the shameful statements generated much public criticism and brought the House into odium and disrepute. Speaking in Parliament on October 17th, after the conclusion of the Standing Finance Committee and the passing of the budget, Anisette George said she was compelled to address the matter. She said when the remarks were uttered, the chair was being handed over to by Deputy Speaker, and she did not hear them. She said based on the video footage, the opposition members also did not hear them as there was no outcry nor denouncement. She said the statements were not captured on the Hansard but were labeled crosstalk. However, like the rest of Trinidad and Tobago, I was deeply troubled by the improprieties uttered during a period when the nation should have been focused on the business before the House. And he said George said the freedom of speech enjoyed by members was to enable them to discharge their functions, but it was a privilege which was subject to the standing orders of the House and to the well-established general rules regarding parliamentary debates as developed by the practice and procedures of Parliament. It is not to be abused in a manner that distracts members and the public from the business before the House, or even worse, in a manner that undermines the dignity of the House and representatives. In more news, concerns of the TT Post Workers and TNT Postal Workers Union over decade-long 18.6% pay implementation that have not yet come into play. On October 17th, 7 months after they protested outside TT Post corporate shop in Scarborough, union members went to the office of the Chief Personnel Officer in St. Clair, Port of Spain, to deliver a letter addressed to the CPO, Dr. Daryl Dindial. The letter outlines the union's concern and calls for the CPO to address them. David Forbes, the General Secretary of the TTPWU, read the letter aloud to the media as he stood outside the CPU's office. The TTPWU would have written and hand-delivered to your office dated April 22nd, 2022 and February 23rd, 2024, not having received a response to those letters from your good self, and knowing that the management of TT Post has not received any guidelines for the implementation of the said 18.6% increase for which past and present employees of TT Post have been waiting. We believe that it will be only just that the increase become a reality for the employees involved. The letter was also forwarded to the Minister of Finance, Minister of Public Utilities, and George Alexis, the General Manager of TT Post. Calls from media to the TT Post General Manager George Alexis on 3 occasions. Twice they were told he was in a meeting, and the third time the call was not answered. In more stories, the National Infrastructure Development Company Limited said Thursday afternoon sailing of Calypso Sprinter was cancelled due to mechanical issues. In an update Thursday night, NIDCO said the vessel is currently undergoing emergency repair works, and as a result, the water taxi service sailing schedule for Friday, October 18, 2024 will be adjusted. We are expecting the repair works to be completed on the vessel in time for the normal sailing schedule to resume on Monday, October 21st, 2024. NEDCO apologized for any inconvenience and thanked passengers for their understanding and cooperation. For further information regarding this temporary arrangement, the public is asked to contact the Water Taxi Customer Service Team at 226-7900, extension 101, extension 212, or extension 201. And internationally, a senior Hamas member has confirmed their leader, Yahya Sinwar, was killed in combat, but says his death will only strengthen the group. The U.S. President Joe Biden says the killing of Sinwar in Gaza raises the prospect of a ceasefire in a year-long war. Sinwar, who topped Israel's most wanted list, was the key figure behind the 7th October attacks and was killed after Israeli troops attacked a building in Rafah. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the Hamas leader's death does not mean the end of the war in Gaza. The Hamas-run health ministry is in a territory says 42,500 people have been killed there since Israel began its military offensive. Now let's take a look at the sport and weather. In sport, West Indies must overcome a losing record against New Zealand to progress to the ICC Women's T20 final. Hayley Matthews' team faces the Kiwis on Friday at 10 a.m. in the second semi-final for the right to face South Africa in the final set for the 20th of October. South Africa stunned defending champions Australia by 8 wickets in the first semi-final on Thursday in Dubai. The West Indies are unbeaten in the tournament since their opening match loss to South Africa. Their biggest scalp was that of England, which the West Indies beat by 6 wickets in Dubai, breaking a sequence of 13 straight losses. In more sports, the Trinidad and Tobago Perspective will be held at the Hyatt Regency Trinidad from 2 to 5 p.m. on Saturday. The forum is organized by the Trinidad and Tobago Olympic Committee in collaboration with the Ministry of Sport and Community Development and the First Citizens Sports Foundation. The TTOC stated in a media release that the forum's objectives include developing awareness of the Association for International Sport for All and its Sport for All programs. Its objectives also include providing opportunities to network with sport for all stakeholders, provide international contacts, and promote national initiatives and best practices. The Sport for All Forum will be held at the Hyatt Regency Trinidad's Jade, Ruby, and Sapphire rooms. And that's all for sport. Now let's take a look at your weather. Trinidad, Tobago, and the southern windwards are generally hot and sunny despite the isolated shower. There's also a low chance of the odd heavier shower favoring western coastal areas of Trinidad during the afternoon. The night will be initially fair, becoming partly cloudy with showers toward midnight. Gusty winds and street flooding are possible in the vicinity of heavy downpours. The northern windward and leeward islands, variably cloudy conditions accompanied by scattered showers and few heavy showers or thunderstorms. In our temperature last night, we had a minimum temperature of 24.9 degrees in Trinidad and 27 degrees in Tobago. Our maximum temperature is 34 degrees in Trinidad and 33 degrees in Tobago. Our seas are slight to moderate with waves between 1 and 1.5 meters and up to 2 meters in the leewards in open waters and below 1 meter in sheltered areas. Recapping the headlines, 6.9 million for the first people. Police tactical to be handed in by October 23rd. Speaker takes young to task for distasteful behavior. TT Post workers complain on still living on 2013 salaries. The Calypso Sprinter is under repairs. And internationally, after Sinwar's killing, Biden seeks path to peace. And that's all from me today. Thank you for joining me. I'm Chinaka Phipps. Do have a fantastic Friday.
News from the street. News from the street. 919fm.com.